morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. I am Paul Sisler, and this is In the Moment. Hello, hello, hello. Now, I won't be watching on my cell phone the live broadcast on Twitter. Usually I watch that and I look for chat comments. But I have an open ticket going with X Support Center, and I'm communicating back and forth, trying to resolve a problem. And I tell you, I gotta give a shout out to X Twitter Support Center and all that. They have been working really well with me this morning. They responded quickly, and quite frankly, and all that, they're doing an awesome job. Kudos to X Support Center. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today on Democratic Philosophy, we are going to talk about Jeremy's new show coming up. He's got an awesome show that him and his friend have set up, and it's going to be premiering. I believe it's on the 10th, but we'll make sure when I bring Jeremy in. And then we're going to talk about the Speaker of the House, or the vacancy of the Speaker of the House. Anyways, hello, Jeremy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What's up? I'm just sitting here grinning ear to ear. For some reason, this is so satisfying watching these guys fall apart. I try not to enjoy it, but I just kind of, I do. I admit I do.
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do.
It's like a guilty pleasure for me.
All right. All right. So tell me about your new show that you have coming up. When is it? Where is it? Let us know.
We're going to be doing it on Facebook and YouTube mainly for now, just to start. It's going to be, it's called The Voice of Reason. And if you want to do it, it's youtube.com/the VOR podcast. We haven't done a single video yet. Our premiere is actually Tuesday the 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm really excited to do this project with Mike Foligno. Me and him met through Instagram. Actually, I just followed him for the longest time, and he used to do these crazy good memes. He's like just all original stuff. And I just sent him a message one day, and we kind of just hit it off. And we've been talking about for a while. We've been wanting to do like a political comedy kind of thing, because he's kind of like me. He's super sarcastic, and it's stuff that we're just gonna make fun of. You know, if it's dumb, we're gonna call it dumb. It's gonna be dedicated to truth, logic, reasoning, critical thinking, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be based on all those things, and we're gonna, of course, throw in plenty of sarcasm to go along with everything. So I'm excited to do it. Yeah, we got a good video first show lined up. We got some good topics lined up. I'm not going to give them away yet. You'll have to watch the show for that. So,
excellent. I am excited for you. Let's see. Tuesday, and this is on your own YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, it's funny. I created the channel like a year ago when I met you, or over a year ago, and I named it The Voice of Reason a long time ago. And I never did anything with the YouTube channel. I never promoted it. And I tried to, but back then when I first met you and started doing this, I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. So I've developed my skills over the last 12 months, and I'm trying to put them to good use finally. So, our production is going to be very good. You know what I mean? We're going to have some good topics, hopefully some good guests, and hopefully we'll build some momentum pretty quick. Because I think we have some very original opinions that people need to hear, and hopefully that they want to hear.
All right. I am looking forward to it. I'm glad that you and I connected and we got our start here. And yes, Jeremy is going to be continuing with me on here, but he's branching out into the real world. And yes, quite frankly, and all that, his video skills and everything has far surpassed mine. I mean, oh my goodness, that I took a break, and Jeremy just kind of took off on his own there and learned the system. I'm telling you,
it was like, see, I'm like that, and I'm 46 years old, and I've never done anything like this before. But I was like, even like this in school, like I struggled learning things, but I got to a point where once it clicked, and I realized how much I could create. Like, that's why I do a lot. I do all all our own material. We don't just repost things. We make our own memes. I like to do my own videos. I like to cut in news clips with it and make it original. I've even cut in videos of movies in with my stuff now. I've learned how to do that. And I got to thank you though, because this all originated here on this show back when it was Comedy and Controversy. And I didn't know how to do a damn thing. And just one day it clicked, and creating something out of nothing. I've never done that before. Just had an idea and then it made it happen. I've never been able to do that I've always wanted to, but I'd never had an outlet to do it. You know what I mean? Or a reason. So now I found both.
Right. Oh, exactly. And I'm proud of you and all that. I mean,
And hard work. I mean, this stuff is way harder than I thought it would be. I
yes,
had no clue what I was getting myself into when I
yes,
started this, but I didn't realize how much I would love doing what we do. Just speaking the truth, like, and trying to give a reasonable opinion that people can understand, even if they disagree with it. I think that's kind of the purpose of what we do. We want to have arguments. We want to have discussions on topics, not
exactly. And that's why we're going to discuss today McCarthy.
yeah, this is crazy.
Where's that intro video? That last one that you set up before the show. Let's play
perfect. I'll play that for you. This is from the Lincoln
Speaker
Project.
of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
You all know Matt Gaetz.
I love
You know it was personal.
One of the greatest acts of heresy that I've seen in a while.
I thought it was unfair to Kevin.
Nothing like this ever happened when Nancy Pelosi was in charge.
And I think it's disgraceful, and I hope they expel him from the conference.
I think there needs to be a reckoning within the conference.
It's an astonishingly destructive behavior by a handful of egocentric people.
I have never seen anything so malicious.
Those 8 people are anarchists, and they're Chaos Caucus members.
You're going to get a week or 10 days of the media focusing on Republican disarray.
The Republican Party today just can't govern. Nancy Pelosi with a 5-vote majority, she was able to govern. The Democrats have become the party of discipline, and the Republicans have become the party that lacks discipline.
Wow,
yes.
This is brutal.
All right. Oh, and that was from the Midas Touch, right?
No, that was from Lincoln Project.
Oh, Lincoln Project. Okay. Yes.
If you don't follow those guys, they are fantastic. Pro-democracy. We actually had a chance to talk to one of the former members, Fred Wellman, who is with the Midas Touch Network now. And I just love what they do. Even Midas Touch Network, I love what those guys do. They're the ones that really got me inspired to do, kind of the path that I've chosen to go with the politics and everything. So
yes. And with everything being so political nowadays, it's so hard to not get political,
Well, you kind of have to now.
Yes. Well, that's what inspired me to write my book, The Red Herring Effect. So, I mean, this is, and I'm sure, again, the political aspect of the country right now and all that, isn't that what inspired you to write your book?
It was actually, I had the idea for my book February 20th of 2021. So, right after, not that long after Jan 6 happened, I was done. I never give a shit about politics, but I was like, this is wrong. Like, my dad fought for this country in 2 different wars. You know what I mean? He was in Vietnam and Desert Storm. He would be so angry if he would. I'm actually glad he wasn't able to see that happen in his lifetime. He would have been so upset with that. But yeah, you're right. That's what he got. Thanks to Trump, a lot of people are getting involved in politics.
Yes. And my grandfather, who fought in World War II, my dad fought in Korea. Both of them and all that. Always told me, don't join the military. Don't do it. It's not worth it. They told me about a lot of the things that they had to go through, and basically, and again, I know why they told me not to go. I still tried. I didn't qualify. I had a bum knee, but anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for their service that have gone into the military. I am, to some degree, I am very pro-military. There's aspects about the military that I'm not happy about, that I think there needs to be changes done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's here nor there. What was the next clip that you had for us here on?
Oh, this is Matt Gaetz, I believe. This is when the whole thing started.
I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you.
So you'll remember that nasty speaker election back in January. One of the many concessions that McCarthy made then to the far right of his party was to make it easier to boot him from his own job. And joining me now is Congressman Matt Gaetz. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Thanks for being here, Congressman. First, I want to start with this. You're making some pretty serious threats against Speaker McCarthy's speakership. But let's be honest, it sounds like you don't have the votes.
Oh, she was wrong there, wasn't she?
Yes. There's a lot of people that I've been in spaces with, and I have discussed this. I don't know how many people that watch the Jimmy Dore show, and when McCarthy, obtained his speakership, he had to make concessions to people on in the Republican Party to be able to acquire the votes. And there was a lot of people that didn't like that aspect of discord within the Republican Party. I myself, I liked it. Not because I dislike the Republican Party, but it's something that I wish the Democrats would have done when Pelosi was running for Speaker of the House. I wish they would have got Medicare for all as a concession from Nancy Pelosi to give her the gavel. So I like what they did, but I'm not liking what they have done now.
I wonder, we'll never know the actual concessions that were made, that those behind closed doors agreements that they made. Because you gotta think, by the time that 15th round, was it 15 rounds of voting to get?
I think that's
by the time that 15th round was coming in, and Hakeem Jeffries just got ever so much closer to being the speaker. I bet you McCarthy's like, look, I will do anything you want me to do. And they had him by the balls. The guy really had no power, if you think about it. I mean, he was literally under their thumb. Every time he did something that they disagreed with, they threatened his job. How much that guy's
that's where I have the problem. They threaten his job. Okay. I don't think they should have that power. I think if they're going to make agreements, I think he should follow through with them. Whether it's good policy or not, I think he should have followed through with the concessions that he made.
I think he tried. But I think the concessions were insane. I mean, look at who he's dealing with: Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan. All those people are nuts. You know what I mean? And they're the ones that are they're like the puppets. And then Trump obviously is the puppeteer. So the puppets were running over to McCarthy every other second. You got to do this. You made this agreement. You got to do this. You got to do that. The guy had no actual power, because every time he did, remember the time he said something, I forget what it was. It was so ridiculously minute and insignificant that it still pissed Trump off to the point where he had to kiss Trump's ass to get back into his favor. Like, come on. That's not, you got speaker by title only. You didn't actually have any legitimate power.
Well, what I'm saying is that McCarthy wanted to keep the government going. And if part of the concessions was to shut the government down, I agree with McCarthy breaking that concession, breaking that agreement to keep the government going, because that's what you're supposed to do. So and you got to remember, for a bill to even come up on the floor, that's what the speaker does. The speaker decides what's going to come up and what's not.
Well, think about the things that have just happened in the last year with the government. One, they held the economy hostage, willing to possibly cause a worldwide financial crisis. And then they caved on that, because obviously that is insane. That is like hostage negotiation type stuff. They're terrorists. Domestic terrorists is all. I'm sorry, they are. And then now again with the funding, the government. They wanted to threaten the government shutdown. You know what I mean? Millions of people would have been out of paycheck. Medicare people are now on Medicare. Food stamps would have been shut off. Rent assistance would have been shut off. All those government funded programs would have been, not there when everybody needed them. And they're willing to do that. That's the problem. They are willing to do that. And McCarthy got booted because he would not shut the government down. That's what they wanted. That's what their Fuhrer told them to do. Said, you shut the government down. And they said, okay, boss, we'll do that because you don't cross Trump ever. Everybody knows that. You don't. If he says do something and you don't do it exactly like he wants you to, you're out.
Right. And this is why when Matt Gaetz did this, he knew that he'd have support from the Democrats for ousting him, because the Democrats couldn't trust McCarthy, Okay, so I have to log back in. Yes, I am.
Hey, it's okay, man. Hey, tech problems are a thing. It's a real thing in the real world.
Yes.
No, I could talk for a second. I mean,
please.
I mean, I don't think McCarthy had job security from day one. I mean, this is ultimately the plan. It's like, all right, we'll give you the job, but if you don't do what we tell you to do, we're going to boot you out. And then, but at what point do you think Matt Gaetz realized that he just sided with every Democrat in the House? He must be one of the most hated people in the government right now because he literally voted with the Democrats. Like, it's like something MAGA does not do. So at what point do you think he just killed his career? Do you think he's realized it yet, or do you think he will? And he immediately, I wish I would have uploaded that video, used that opportunity to fundraise. Immediately after McCarthy was out, Matt Gaetz was fundraising. That's what they do. Okay. These people don't want to govern. They want clicks. They want likes on Instagram. They want likes on other social media platforms. You know what I mean? They're not actually doing anything to help American people. They're trying to further their own personal agenda and line their own pockets as long as they can. And then who cares if they're never in government again? You know what I'm saying? If you got all that money, you can just live the rest of your life in comfort. I don't like it. I wish it would stop. And until we start electing reasonable, normal people, this is going to continue. It's just going to keep getting worse. It's gone unchecked for far too long now.
Yeah.
It's like a disease or a virus that you don't get
Yes. Sorry about this interruption here.
Oh, no, you're good.
X has, I have to change my password now to get back in.
Well, perfect. I'll play one of the next videos while you do
Yes, please.
See, I'm on top of things, man.
I loved every minute. And the one thing I will tell you is doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. It is my responsibility. It is my job. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I don't regret my efforts to build coalitions and find solutions. I was raised to solve problems, not create them.
Sorry, I'm talking on the video.
So I may have lost a vote today, but as I walk out of this chamber, I feel fortunate to have served the American people. I leave the speakership with a sense of pride, accomplishment, and yes, optimism.
What? Optimism? I have issues with everything he just said. Especially the one word there, compromise. They don't compromise, okay? Like I said, let's take it for instance, when they took the whole economy hostage and were willing to risk everything. Like a bad gambler.
Yes. No, I hear you.
You know what I mean? They were not willing to compromise, and they took it till the last second, and they did it again with the government shutdown. Took it to the last second. These people do not care about American people. Okay, they want to change. They want to destroy democracy. I mean, let's be real. You know, if we're going to really think about it, that's what they want. They want to make up the rules as they go. And it's all right. So, for example, Marjorie Taylor Greene wants Donald Trump to be Speaker of the House. I mean, what? are we talking about? Are you kidding me? So you take the puppet out and then put the puppet master in his place. And ironically, I don't know if she realized this before or after, there's actually a rule. I believe it's a GOP rule that if you're under federal indictment, you're not allowed to be Speaker of the House. So,
It's actually Rule 26.
Thank you. I was hoping you knew what it was because I didn't know the actual one. But yeah, so it is an actual rule, which is ironic because you can still be president while under federal indictment, but you can't be Speaker of the House, which is a position in line to the presidency. Makes total sense. I love how our government works. I love the rules of our government, man.
Yes. No, sorry for the distraction. Like I said, I've been working on getting my X account updated. I had to do some verification and everything, and we're doing that now. So,
well, it's good that you can get a hold of them because a lot of places I've dealt with some social media networks where it's almost impossible to get stuff resolved. So, that's not bad at all.
Yes, no, they've been very, very good. And again, it's
Oh, have you heard about the new Matt Gaetz story? Apparently, people are just throwing him under the bus left and right.
No, which one? What story?
Oh, all right. So the latest drama, and this is said by a Republican, I believe it was a Republican senator, that he is in deep shit, I think, because apparently throughout the years, he's done stuff like snorted erectile dysfunction medication.
Yes.
And he's crushed it up and put it in his energy drink. And he's shown people videos of like young women that he's had sex with. So there are witnesses. Like he just shows you, they brag. This is how they are. They brag about these things like it's a good thing. He's just showing videos off to people. Why do you need erectile dysfunction medication at work? And why are you in Congress trying to hump everything that walks? Apparently, the guy's walking around with a raging heart on, mixing it with energy drinks, so his heart rate's up at the same time. Woo, buddy. I feel bad for the interns I'm pretty sure some stories are going to come out. I know. I just have a feeling that once the cat's out of the bag, it's going to run out of the bag. Yeah, Saddle Fox, look, daddy issues. Could very well be true. I think a lot of people have, a lot of people in Congress have daddy issues. I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. So, I don't know. Who do you think is going to replace?
I don't think it's something that's going to be very, very easy. I know they want Jim Jordan.
That'd be a nightmare.
I don't know. Okay, we will contact you during. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Since they don't have to be a member of Congress to be the chair, I would love, and this is just me thinking, if Liz Cheney, Donald Trump would lose his freaking mind if Liz Cheney would be the chair. Oh my God. Can we do that?
Yeah, we could, but I don't think that'll happen.
I know.
I don't think they may get Jim.
All they need is, but that's the thing. All they need is what, 6 votes, 5 or 6 votes to take it to do it. So if the Republicans found somebody, like if Liz Cheney did it, I think there'd be enough Republican votes along with the Democrat, because there's only a slim majority. They don't need but a few votes to do that. I think she has a better chance than Jim Jordan does, because no Democrat's going to vote for Jim Jordan, but there's probably some Republicans that would vote for Liz Cheney, or for some Democrats that would vote for Liz Cheney. I think that could happen. Think about it.
Yes, definitely. The Republican Party is at odds with each other. You have these 8 to 12 people that are what I consider far right MAGA. And they're not there for the interest of the people. They're there for the interest of themselves.
Exactly.
And, you got a lot of other Republicans that are trying. I mean, I read legislation every day, and you got Republicans making legit bills, trying to get things done and trying to, do things for the people. And I know there's a lot of people on the left that really just don't care to hear that the Republicans are actually doing work because they have a view of Republicans. I know because when I read the legislation, I have a segment on Thursdays, Who Wrote the Bill, and I read these bills because the idea behind Who Wrote the Bill is for the audience to decide who wrote the bill. Is it a Democrat or a Republican? So there's a lot of bills that I bring up that my guests can't decide, figure out truly who wrote it. Occasionally, you'll get one person that's on the nose, the other one is thinking that it's the other party. And it's because both sides write good legislation. Both sides also write bad legislation. And this is the thing, is that we have a bunch of people that are trying to get work done in Congress, and we have this small group of people that are disrupting everything, not letting anything get done. The fact that McCarthy and Biden came up with a deal to keep the government running, that says a lot for McCarthy. It really does. Even though he had people in his ear saying, no, 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 shut the government down, he still kept it running. Okay. Now,
Well,
whether you like,
I think he realizes that.
Right. And whether you like McCarthy or the Republicans' policy or not, the fact that he was willing to work with Democrats, and one of the things that he said in one of his video clips, yes, they want their bill to be the most conservative bill it can be. But you're not going to get everything you want. You have to make some concessions. Just like the Democrats, they can't get everything to be as democratic of a bill as what they want. They have to make concessions. That's how our government works. So I don't shame McCarthy for working across the aisle, but I do shame McCarthy for the fact that he couldn't be trusted because he is underhanded and Trump was in his ear. That's my thought.
And again, that is the core source of the problem. I don't think it's McCarthy. First of all, obviously, these people were elected by, I'm assuming, human beings that live in states across the country. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, the ringleader, like you just said, everything goes to him. Like his fraud case. Like they were telling, everything runs through Trump. That's how he is. He's a control freak when it comes to things like this. So this is all run by one person. So they're all taking commands from him. I don't think every Republican is. I hope every Republican is not doing that. But at the same time, there's enough to cause enough chaos. These people were put in positions that they were not. Let's admit, Jim Jordan went to law school, but he's not a lawyer. He never passed the bar exam. He's the head of the Judiciary Committee. Matt Gaetz is on the Judiciary Committee, and he's a moron. You know what I mean? Marjorie Taylor Greene's on the Homeland Security Committee. No business does this woman ever need to be anywhere near our national security secrets. Get out of here. Come on.
Well,
let's take this seriously if we're going to do it. But those were their demands. We'll put you in power if you put us on such and such committee, because then we can investigate Biden, because then we'll have subpoena power. That's all this was about. Going after Biden, which was what they've been doing for 9 months straight with no success.
I don't disagree with you on that aspect. Where I am going to give you the pushback is where you're saying, like, this person is not a lawyer, so they shouldn't be in the Judiciary Committee.
I'm not saying they shouldn't be on it.
I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I know a lot about law. I've done a lot of research. I wrote a book and did a lot of case law study. I've probably read more case law than most lawyers have read.
You would be more qualified than him to be the head of Judiciary Committee.
Right. What I'm saying is that these people have advisors, they have staff members, they have people that are supposed to be looking things up, finding out information. Okay, is this piece of legislation, is it constitutional? Find out things that would go against it, blah, blah, blah. This is why they're on those committees, because they're supposed to be proficient and do a job and find this stuff. They don't have to be a lawyer. They don't have to be, somebody that worked for government to be on the Homeland Security Committee, but they have to be able to do their job and reach out and connect to people and look things up and be able to do the research. And where I agree with you on a lot of these people that have no business on there is because they're not there to do the work.
Right.
They're there to get likes, and they're there to do, get their reposts and their posts and stuff like that. And that's all they care about. They want the attention. They're not there to do work. Where we have a lot of people in Congress that are actually there to do work on both sides of the aisle.
There is. They're worried about monetization. That's exactly what they're worried about. That one word, monetization. Because every time they do something insane, they get booked on some kind of right-wing media, whether it's OAN or Newsmax or Fox News. Why do people still watch Fox News? Come on, stop it. And then they get, you know what I mean? And then everybody sees that, and then they go to their, it's all a money game. It's all they care about. Like you said, they're not governing. They're not.
Right.
Let's be real. What have they passed in the last 9 months that has benefited the American people? I mean, I'm sure maybe there's a couple things. If they had to pass them for some reason, I don't understand what's going on. What is their end game? To me, the end game looks like total fascism in America. That's what I see with MAGA Republicans. Authoritarian state. You know what I mean? I mean, how they even said like Project 2025. They want to go after the whole woke agenda. You know what I mean? So anybody that thinks like you or me, we're going to be targets too. You know what I mean? But that's what they want.
Yes.
You put those things together, like we talked about in Project 2025 episode. You put somebody dumb like Donald Trump who's willing to do anything for money, because obviously the guy only cares about that. Oh, by the way, I gotta laugh. He's so pissed about being dropped off the Forbes 400 list. He is crying like a baby about it. That is so funny. But how long? All right. So how long do you think it's going to, do you think these guys can do this? Because we only got a 45, this could happen at a worse time. We only had a 45-day extension on the whole government shutdown. So can they put somebody competent and reasonable in place in order to handle the situation? They only have how many days left?
I like 40. I don't know.
Less than 40.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. It's not going to come down to those 8 or 12 Republicans. It's going to come down to the rest of the Republicans. It's going to come down to getting somebody in there that they're all going to like, and obviously the 8 to 10 aren't going to like. And then the Republicans are going to have to rely on Democrats to make up the extra part of that vote. So I think they're going to have a difficult challenge there.
McCarthy like the least extreme of this group, though, of the MAGA Republicans. To me, he's at least not willing to go and, pull the trigger. He fought till the end, tooth and nail, but eventually caved because obviously he knows how catastrophic. I think McCarthy realizes how catastrophic these things are to hundreds of millions of people.
Right.
But we could eventually, theoretically, we could have Marjorie Taylor Greene as Speaker of the House. Could you imagine? Third line of the presidency?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. See, here's what you got to realize. I guarantee you for the 8 to 12 that are on the far right, you have 8 to 12 that are moderate conservatives that cannot stand MAGA. Okay?
No, I'm using her as an example.
Right.
It's an extreme example, but theoretically it could happen.
There's no way that those 8 to 12 moderate Republicans are going to allow a MAGA Republican in there, just like the MAGAs aren't going to allow a moderate in there. So
we have deadlock then.
Well, we have a deadlock until they can get somebody that both can agree upon. And there are a few Republicans in there that they could probably choose from that everybody could be happy with, that won't be in the ear of Trump and won't be in the ear of Democrats.
Let me throw this at you. What if 6 or 7 moderate Republicans got together, nominated somebody? They wouldn't need the full support of the Republican Party. They would just need somebody that the Democrats are okay with. They could actually do it that way. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Moderate, that could happen, right? Like say the Liz Cheney situation. Say like these, say 8 Republicans got together, and then the Democrats think Liz Cheney's okay. Say that situation works out. Like, I mean, I'm just throwing spitballs out here. scenarios that could happen. So you really don't need the full support of the MAGAs or the Republicans to get somebody in that chair. You need to, if you took advantage, if you're smart and you were tired of the bullshit, you would get somebody that the Democrats are okay with. And that's how the moderates would get rid of this virus, this scourge that has plagued our country for the last how many years now. That could happen, but then I don't know. This is like unknown territory, really. We have a party that is completely eating itself alive. They have they're just stabbing each other in the back every chance they get. I don't know how this is going to resolve itself in less than 40 days. I really don't. I hope it does.
We're going to be able to watch it, here live, basically, and all that as it happens on C-SPAN down the road, as they go in and start making this, push to get somebody in there. Someone like Liz Cheney, no matter who it is, I think there's a good possibility that the Republicans might need Democratic support to get somebody into the speakership. Okay?
It's maybe the situation ends up forcing them to work together. I mean, I don't know. Some of these people, there's too much power in the wrong hands right now. There needs to be a shift of power. Okay, we got to take some of these people off the committees they're on and put them on the back burner and say, well, you just need to sit to the side and there are some, like you said, there's got to be reasonable Republicans. There has to be, but they're under a tremendous, I can't even imagine the amount of pressure they're under right now, because obviously the end game for them right now, for MAGA at least, is Trump back in power, and they're willing to do anything. They're willing to sacrifice it all for that. I can't imagine every single person there on the Republican side is okay with that, because that's insane. That's crazy. That's not realistic. That's not democracy. That's not how it's supposed to work.
Well, and again, we're going to find out what happens and all that. Everybody in the Republican Party is going to have to make some kind of concession or compromise with somebody else in the Republican Party to be able to get somebody back in that chair. And there's a good chance that they're going to have to reach across the aisle and potentially get some help from Democrats.
But that's the thing. The Democrats are willing to do that, but the Republicans are not. I think if they reached out, the Democrats would immediately be like, okay, let's work together. I think that's how it would work. I swear to God, because they've been trying to work together for how long now? So I think maybe it's time. Maybe this is the catalyst.
Well, let's go back to when Pelosi was. Let's go back to when Pelosi was trying to become the Speaker of the House, and we had the squad that was in there wanting to present a problem, but again, the backroom discussions, they caved and they allowed Speaker Pelosi to become Speaker Pelosi, which personally I think that they should have done what the Republicans did and made Pelosi do more concessions to, get that. But I like this. I like this aspect of discontent, because this forces people to either come to a means of agreement or it creates total chaos, which we're going to see the breakdown of a party. So this is now forcing the parties to work together, work in alignment, and come to some kind of an agreement, which is going to help bring our country back together. So I think this disruption is actually a good thing in the long run. It sucks right now, okay? But I think in the long run, I think it's going to work out for the best.
It's funny you say that. This might be our whole thing. We said this like a year ago. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Man, you brought up a really good point just now. Never mind. Go ahead.
I said that we had to have more chaos and we had to have more things that affect more people before.
That's right. I'm sorry. Thank you. My short-term memory is terrible. We talk about that our democracy is being tested right now. I keep saying that over and over again. I've said it for like the last year and a half. I feel like our democracy is being tested. And if it comes out on the right end, we could be stronger than ever as a country, as a whole. It could be a good thing. And but we have to go through chaos to get all of this out. We have to there's got to be a big boom to get rid of all of the corruption, because we're seeing it now. We're seeing the corruption like never before.
Right.
I think there's a reason, there's a purpose for that. And I think we deserve a government free of corruption. Is that too much to ask, that we hold our government to a higher standard than actual regular citizens? Shouldn't we do that?
Most governments don't fall from outside interference. Most governments fall from within. They fall from division and corruption from within. And our government is at that point. I mean, we have an old government, okay? Granted, compared to other governments, it's a babe, but we have a long-running government, one of the longest-running governments there is, that have, that hasn't gone through change.
Top 10. I actually looked that up once.
Yeah, I mean, we've made some minor changes, but we haven't gone through a dramatic change. And we are at that point where we do have to go through a dramatic change, because we have a lot of things that we need to fix. So I see people saying, have you been thinking about the Roman Empire? Yes, because the Roman Empire fell. We are the Roman Empire of today, and are we going to fall, or are we going to are we going to get it back together and make things work, or is our government just going to fall apart?
Let me ask you, is America the Roman Empire, or is the Republican Party the Roman Empire?
America is the Roman Empire.
Think about it, though, but America is not trying to hurt it. You know what I mean? I mean, I agree. I know what you're saying, though. I agree.
See, this is where I'll disagree with you on this aspect, okay? We've talked about issues that are on the left and all that, like systemic discrimination, whether it be systemic racism, systemic ageism, classism, misogyny, whatever the case is. The left has had the power to fix a lot of these things and have chosen not to, because this system works for those people that are making money on top. Okay. And when it comes to elections, you need to keep fighting for something. If we fixed all the problems, what would either party have to run on?
Well, think about it. Our democracy is, like you said, it's very old. What, 247 years now? And it really hasn't gone through, it's except for the Civil War, it really hasn't gone through a drastic shakeup. So, I mean, yeah, I think our democracy could be stronger in the end. I hope it is. I hope right now, I think we're an embarrassment. Like I can't imagine what people say about us around the world. Jesus
I think
Christ.
we're going through a phase.
We have to evolve as a country. We have to evolve. And you're right. Yeah. I think this is a phase that eventually will make us stronger in the end, because the majority of America does not like this. Okay. But you have to admit, they made a video about this on my Instagram and on TikTok. There is a vast amount of people in this country that can no longer be reasoned with. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, these people are devoted. Like, it's literally become cultism behavior. You know what I mean? It really has. And I've watched, like, if you ever watch interviews with people at rallies, Trump rallies, like, watch those. Those are crazy. They're absolute bonkers stuff these people believe. But that's the thing. They believe it. Whether it's nonsense to the rest of the world or not, they believe it to their core, which means they're willing to do anything for one man, Donald Trump. See, I like the different. We could compare the two. Like, the left, okay, they're talking about better wages. They're talking about infrastructure. They're talking about economy, inflation, jobs. That's what they're talking about. Making weed legal, possibly. They're talking about that too. I just had to throw that in there. What is the right talking about? Impeachment, Hunter Biden's laptop. You know what I mean? Government shutdown.
Here's where my pushback comes in, okay? You're talking about what the media is pushing, that the right is all about. And
I watch what they do in Congress too. Like, they don't even want to give kids free school meals. That's actually one of their platforms in the next election. They do not want to give kids at lunch free school meals.
Right.
If you have a party that can't even feed your goddamn kids, don't vote for them, man.
Hold on. Who put that bill out there? Who sponsored that?
I
bill?
don't know, man. It's ridiculous now, though.
This is my point. This is my point. Okay. I recall reading that bill. And if I remember right, it has, the initial sponsor and it has one co-sponsor. So the right is not pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
Two people from the right are pushing that. Okay. And they're not getting a lot of people to sign on to it. But when one person brings this up, we on the left then will say, look at what the right is doing when it's only one or two. This is why I say we have to go into the legislation, because there are bills that the right are putting out there to help veterans, to help kids in school, to help the theft rate of automobiles, to try to disable that, to help law enforcement, just as the left is doing the same thing, putting bills out there to give funding to law enforcement and stuff like that. Because the message on the right is that the left wants to defund the police. No, read the legislation, because there's a lot of legislation out there where the left wants to give funding to the police.
Right. It's the right wants to defund everything. They want to defund public education. They want to defund Medicare. They want to privatize all these government programs. They want to privatize the TSA. They want to privatize the TSA. They, you know what I mean? It's not. I can't support the right at all. There's no way. I don't understand how people do. I don't understand how people do it. It's become to the point where our country is so divided that if I find out somebody's a Trump supporter, I don't even bother talking to them. It's that bad. Have you ever seen a country so divided politically, not racially, politically, so divided over one man, one person, one party, that you can't even have like a reasonable conversation? If you bring up one negative thing, if you say one fact that is negative about their leader, they snap, defensive immediately.
Right. And again, my slight pushback on that is I've gone on in spaces where you have a lot of people that are on the left. And if I try to talk and have a reasonable conversation on certain things, they'll push me out of the room.
It's tough. It's tough.
Because I like to bring things. I like to bring things to where here's the pros and cons of both sides. I like to play devil's advocate. I like to look at things because I do want solutions. And that's what this is what I try to do is I try to find solutions to things. And whether we're talking about gun control, whether we're talking about the First Amendment, whether we're talking about whatever it is we're talking about, I like to find solutions and I like to have conversations. And I will have a conversation with somebody on the far right that calls himself MAGA.
I'll push back on that one.
As long as they don't call names and they don't get belligerent and they keep it respectful.
No, all right. I have the perfect video for this that I didn't show you earlier. Now, I believe that there's some people in this country no longer can be reasoned with. I'm going to show you a video that is a lady being interviewed. I'll just show you the video. Now, you tell me after you watch this video, can you reason with a person like this?
And
where's the truth going to come from?
It's going to come from the people, the Great Awakening.
And who's behind the Great Awakening? Is QAnon part of that? Is Trump himself part of that? Can you answer some of that?
Yeah, it's a military operation. Absolutely. It's devolution. It's the continuation, the continuity, continuation of government. We know who the commander-in-chief is.
Who's the commander-in-chief?
Donald Trump's the commander-in-chief.
But not now.
Sure he is. Yeah. We have a resident who's the president, the installed president in the White House. We also have a commander-in-chief. Biden runs the D.C., the 10 square mile area in D.C. Trump's running the rest of the show.
But he's not. But he
is.
He's not even privy to that intelligence.
Oh, yes, he is.
How is he privy to it when the president has not shared all of it?
It's a military operation.
So Trump is behind a military operation that's going to make this correction?
Yes, he is.
I told you, man, some people have gone so far down the damn rabbit hole.
Right.
No return.
That's
an extreme example, people. That's an extreme example. That is not everybody.
The key word is some.
Some. But think about it. There's 300 million people in America. If 1% is like this. That's 3 million people. That is a lot of freaking people, man. And it's a bigger number than 1%.
I know, but Jeremy, if I were to go out and interview people on the left about some of these things.
Oh, I agree. Some of the left ideas are crazy too. I mean,
okay. And I know that there are people that are out there that have gone so far down the rabbit hole
but
that
this isn't even rooted in reality. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They
Yeah.
have this great awakening thing. They have these gigantic conventions, and they have people that come to speak called prophets, and they talk about mermaids that are coming to do armed combat, and that we should be worried about, and that rich people in Hollywood stay young by drinking the blood of children or harvesting their. I mean, seriously, this is QAnon stuff.
And
And
then
I know, again, this is an extreme example, but it does exist.
I
know. We have to address it. We
just like
can't ignore the fact that these people exist.
just like the flat earthers.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
Just
Don't get me started
people
on
that
flat
believe
Earth
that
theory.
birds aren't real, and even when that was finally debunked, by the guy that created it, there are still people out there that insist that birds aren't real, that they're CIA operatives, drone
Flat Earth
operatives.
theory throws me so hard because this is the dumbest thing ever, man. Like we can see different universes or galaxies now, and every single world that we found is round. Okay, so what the fuck makes you think that the Earth is flat? And I've watched so many videos of them disproving themselves, but they still think that shit's true.
I'm bringing a point with this, okay, Jeremy?
I'm sorry, you had to go off on a tangent for a second.
All right, I'm bringing a point with this. Even though there are people that will take something and run with it because it fits a mode of thought process that they have. All right.
Right.
And they're not willing to debunk their own belief system. Okay. When you take on a belief system and you want to make sure that you're on the right path, you have to try to prove yourself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't do that anymore. If something aligns with something that they want to believe, then they run with it. And then they repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell other people, and then they repeat it. And then it becomes in their mind a fact.
Right.
Not. Okay. So this is why I do the shows that I do, is because I want people to think that's why this is democratic philosophy. I want people to be able to utilize critical thinking skills, that no matter what you or I say, whether people agree with you or I, whether we agree or we disagree, that they will take what we say and they will go look it up, and they will try to prove us wrong, and they'll try to prove us right. Because no matter what I say, you can prove me wrong and you can prove me right. Now, how far do you want to dig? Because the deeper you dig, the more information you'll find. And eventually you're going to find a root of what it is. And when you find that root, you're going to be like, oh my God, he was off base. I need to let him know he was off base. And if you bring me the receipts, I'm going to look at it. And guess what? If I'm off base, I'm going to stand corrected.
Exactly.
Or you're going to find the receipts and say, oh my God, he was dead on. How did he know this? Because I got the receipts.
Yeah. And that's the thing I hate about people or humanity in general, is people hate admitting when they're wrong. They will believe something even if they know it's stupid. I mean, some of these people can't possibly believe, but see, that's what I wanted to bring up. Like, the problem with the propaganda now is we have amplifiers. We have social media. We have right-wing news media. We have amplifiers that go out to hundreds of millions of people. People all over the world are now, it's like a virus. You know what I mean? Once it gets into the right spot, it just spreads like wildfire. And if you don't stop it, it gets out of control, which is what we have now. Fox News just got sued, lost $800 million almost. Still the #1 news network in the United States. Tell me Americans aren't idiots. Go ahead. Convince me Americans are complete freaking morons, and I'll go along with it. But they got sued for lying and gave up and said, okay, here's $800 million. go ahead. Oh, they're still under lawsuits for lying. They still have the Smartmatic lawsuits. I
Right.
haven't heard anything
And a
about.
lot of the people aren't going to believe that they even lost the lawsuit.
No, but then there's also entire social media networks dedicated to this stuff, like Truth
Correct.
Social, dedicated to lies and propaganda and grifting. This is
Right.
all they care about.
All the channels have their propaganda.
Oh, I know they do.
You know, because I want you to think about this. When you have a fact and now you give your opinion on that fact, just like we're talking about Speaker McCarthy, the fact he got voted out of the speakership. There's no denying that. That's a fact. He got voted out. Now, the opinion comes in as to whether he was a good person or not. I think McCarthy, personally, knowing how to play the game, has been in politics for a while, did his best to do what it is that he does. And whether I like his policy or not, I think his heart was in the right place, and he was playing every aspect that he could. Okay? Now,
It's become so extreme now, though.
does that make him a good guy or a bad guy? There's going to be people that are going to say, well, he's just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. It doesn't make him a bad guy. Or you're going to have people that say, well, he could have made that change. See, this is where opinion comes in.
I think
Okay.
it's time to change the game. I mean, this game is old.
Well,
need to
but
do this.
you know, this is where the opinion comes in, and this is propaganda because my opinion is that propaganda. Because I want you to believe what I am saying. Where
Right, I get
you're
that.
going to want me to believe what you're saying. The fact isn't propaganda. The fact is the fact. McCarthy was voted out of the speakership.
Yes.
Okay. And why was he voted out? Now, we can debate those issues. We can debate, you know, did he not follow through with his promises? Did he do the right thing by working with the other side? No, you're not supposed to work with the other side. What is right and what is wrong? Well, that's where you and I determine that based upon our belief systems.
Oh
and
my
who we
God,
want
I
to
just
be.
realized something. So Matt Gaetz vote. Oh my God. So Matt Gaetz votes out McCarthy because McCarthy went along with the Democrats. And to vote him out, McCarthy needed the full Democratic support.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In
The
essence,
irony
Matt
is
Gaetz worked with the
hilarious.
Democrats to get rid of McCarthy.
That is funny. So he booted McCarthy out because, oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized that. That's
Well, he
hilarious.
did the very thing he booted McCarthy out for, working with
Exactly,
the
like
Democrats.
instantly too. He didn't even wait, like literally instantly.
And it's not like Matt Gaetz had to go over to the Democrats and go, I need you to vote McCarthy out. He didn't need to because he knew that once he put it to a vote, he knew that the Democrats would do that. So he used the Democrats to do what he needed.
Because McCarthy sided with the Democrat. Oh my God, that is funny. That is dysfunctionally funny. That is so broken. But that's what I mean. It's broken. But it's become a clown show. Okay, I'm sorry. Politics should not be a shit show like it is right now. This is ridiculous. Here it's become. I think that, like you said, I think it'll get better, but this is going to be mass chaos until the next election, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be a ridiculous
Did we
amount
play
of
that
stress.
last video that I had?
Yeah. Let me play that. I almost forgot about it.
Yeah.
McCarthy giving some words. Wish you could hear the reporter.
What concessions did I make? To what? Look, I'm not going to, no. I'm a Republican. I win by Republicans and I lose by Republicans. It's not that way. And so, did I work with, I believe you should work across the aisle. I worked across the aisle at times. Do I want to make the bill the most conservative possible? Yes, that's the goal. It's difficult when you can't get 218 for the conservative bill. And then they want to challenge you when you went and solved and kept the government open.
Last question to you. Last question I have for you. Do you think Matt Gaetz has sealed his fate, and do you think he'll get expelled?
He may. I hope he does.
Oh my God.
I mean,
that would be even better. That because the Democrats would vote to boot him out. That would be great.
right.
Oh, he
but,
just yeah.
The bottom line is what McCarthy was, illustrating right there. We need 218 votes. I just did a bill. I don't know if it was this last one or the one before, but there was like 22 people that voted against it, and everybody else on the left and the right voted in favor of it. Okay. And the people that voted against it were Matt Gaetz and that, group of people, because it was sponsored by a Democrat. All right.
Oh, the
They're not
irony is
there
so
looking out for the best interest of the people. Okay.
wow.
And this was a cybersecurity's, bill in relation to mobile services. Okay. And all the other Republicans supported it, because it's a good bill. We broke it down. There's some issues that, we brought up in the episode and all that, but for the most part, it's a good bill. And this is where the discontent comes in. When you have a small group of people that are disallowing government to function in the way it's supposed to.
Thank you.
I think that the left and the right are truly trying to work things out. I truly believe that.
There's MAGA in the way.
I think there's a small group that's causing this dysfunction.
It is. You're right.
So I want to see them work together. Again, I'm an independent, even though I am a leftist. I am a leftist. Okay. I put human rights before property rights. I will vote for the left more than I do for the right, obviously, and all that, because the left represents more of the things that I want. Will I vote for the right if they represent what I want? Yeah.
But listen, let's be real.
Vote for the left.
And the midterms, they made it abundantly clear, because the right has a stupid habit of saying the quiet parts out loud. They took control of Congress specifically to investigate Biden. That was their whole purpose of wanting control of the House. They had no intention of governing from the freaking start. And like you said, the small group of people was put in way too much power, high power positions. And they're able, of even a small amount of people, it doesn't take a lot of people to overthrow the government. Like I said, the insurrection is still going on. Okay. Jan 6 was the beginning of the insurrection, but it's currently still happening within the government. You can call it what you want. I call it the insurrection. It's still happening until MAGA is out of the picture and a threat to our democracy. I'm going to keep talking about it. You know what I mean? We're going to keep talking about it, making people aware of it.
I agree with you on that. Jeremy, every presidential election that I've been able to vote in, I voted Democratic. There was only one time where I almost voted Republican. And that's when Barack Obama was running against, or John McCain and Barack Obama were running against each other. And if John McCain would have had a better pick for vice president, I would have voted for John McCain. Their selection.
The one that picked
Sarah Palin.
Yeah. Woo.
And
man,
if they would have
picked by that much,
if they would have picked somebody else, I would have voted for John McCain, because I liked John McCain better than Barack Obama at the time. Now, Barack Obama did a fine job while he was in office.
Damn sure he did.
I can sit there and pick apart all of the bad things that he did and say, because of this, he was a bad president. No, there was also a lot of good that he did. As every president that we have had has had some good and bad. Even Trump had some good, very little, but even Trump had some good. Okay.
That's hard to admit for me.
So the bottom line is that when we look at our government, we need two bodies that work together. And quite frankly, I think we need to eliminate political parties, period. My friend Bryce had brought up at one time that the first thing that we need to do in that, because eliminating party affiliations isn't going to work for who's running, we need to do it with the people. I think if all the people dropped their affiliation of left and right and became an independent, we would get better candidates, and the candidates would have to work harder to get our votes, because now they wouldn't know who was voting for them.
But I don't even think it's about parties anymore. I think it's about personal beliefs. We've just have a lot of racist bigots in this country right now that are supporting some really bad things. You know what I mean? It's personal belief. I mean, they'll side with whoever aligns with their personal interests. That's what people do. They vote for the person that says something they like, or they saw an ad that, oh, he's for that. I'm for that too. I'll vote for that guy. That's literally how it works.
Right. And that is a whole nother topic that we need to talk about on this show.
That is actually,
we need to talk about racism. We need to talk about bigotry. We need to talk about bodily autonomy, LGBTQIA rights and stuff like that.
I'm tired of seeing our country fall apart like this. Like the hate, the anger, the violence over nothing, man, over nothing.
I know. We're all supposed to love each other. You know, love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor.
It'd be so easy. Like not hating is actually pretty easy. Hate requires effort.
Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You know,
exactly.
I mean, love and compassion. That's what I'm here for. Love and compassion, and that's where we need to get as a country. We need to start loving our neighbors again.
Look, I'll make it easy for everybody, and this is my sarcastic way of putting it. But I always say I live by one rule, and then one rule applies to everything. Just don't be a dick. Okay, just don't be a dick. It's that easy. Like you don't have to worry about, I got to change. Just if you're doing something, and you look, you're wait a second, I'm being a dick. Stop it. It's that easy. Yeah. And if somebody being, it's not hard to be nice to people. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Hate and anger and violence, that shit requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of effort. But loving people is so easy. It's so much easier to love everybody than it is to hate everybody. I promise you. It really is. It's actually free.
Yes. Yes.
Anger is a curse. Anger will destroy your whole soul. You know what I mean? People let anger just crush their entire
existence. It will make you a better human being. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I'll shut up now. I know we're going a little bit long.
That's all right. That's all right. Jeremy, I tell you, I love you, brother. We need to have these discussions. I love that we're on here doing this. It's a good thing. Yeah. Good luck on your new show. What was the name of it again? The Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason. Yes, that's appropriate. Yeah, The Voice of Reason. We'll be doing it Tuesday, the 10th at 7 p.m. live. I'm actually nervous. I've never hosted before. I was going to co-host.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great show. All right, everybody.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yes. All right, everybody. Remember, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way. And before I close it out, for those, I'm going to be making this mental health announcement every week at the end of the shows. If you are in crisis and you're having those dark thoughts, please dial 988 or call 1-800-273-TALK. Somebody will be there. I, as someone who, because of the pain I'm in, I have those thoughts almost every day.
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah.
Yes. So
I always say, like, toxic thoughts, when you keep them in, is what really getting a toxic thought out. Just speaking the words. Think of it as you're getting that toxic stuff out of your body with the words you say.
It helps.
That's literally how you got to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yes, it helps tremendously and all that.
Yes, it does.
Reach out to friends, reach out to family, whoever it is you need to reach out to.
Reach out to us, man. If you need help, just reach out to anybody.
All right. Love you, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.